Hey, hi all. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the live session. Every week, we try to bring in a new project that basically is accomplished by our team. And we are very proud that today we are going to introduce you to the team which has worked on HR domain related project. This project is about employee attrition rate, especially now due to the pandemic times. Organizations are looking at a lot of attrition, basically due to the insecurity in the job, or the organizations itself is not able to cope up with the demand, and various other factors could be there. So we want to try and predict upfront on who are those employees who might churn out. If HR department can upfront know about this, then there would be an appropriate strategies that can be developed and deployed in an organization to make sure that the attrition is controlled. At the same time, the team has also worked on performance analysis. Who is that employee who is going to perform better this year? Or who is that person who is not up to the mark? Now, if we can analyze this, then we can also analyze on what are the factors which are influencing that particular employee's low performance. And thereby, we can ask that particular employee to take care of those conditions, and HR can intervene and help and guide that particular employee to make sure his production levels are increased. So I want to congratulate the team to accomplish this project, and I want to pass on the control to the team. We have Suresh. Please, Suresh, take over, and you might want to introduce the team and then proceed with the presentation. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sharath. A very good evening. Thanks for joining. My name is Suresh Avduta. I am the project manager. This project includes two phases. First phase is all about employee attrition rate analytics, and second phase is all about employee performance analytics. Before getting into the project, first of all, I would like to thank 360DigiTMG and InnoDataTix, and also I would like to thank project sponsor Mr. Sharat Chandra, project advisor Mr. Jamil, project mentor Mr. Samrat, Atif, and Naman. Last but not the least, I would also like to thank my project team members who are actively involved in the project. And coming to the project, first of all, let's go in detail about the project of phase 1. It's all about employee attrition rate analytics. Since it is a binary classification problem, we have to predict whether employee attrition rate is based on certain attributes. Yeah, these are my team members who involved in the project. If you would like to connect, you can connect through LinkedIn if it is required. And these are the table of contents, and it will be dealt by my team in detail. Now over to Mr. Ashish.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Suresh. This is Ashish, and I'm going to present on challenges and assumptions. Primary challenge is like data is stimulated by different attributes such as work-life balance, training hours, and then we have developed UI with Flask as per client requirements. Initially, we have load the data set into MongoDB, then performed integration with Python, and understanding the organizer behavior is like main objective or output of this project. And we worked on imbalanced data set. Now we are going to look into the assumptions. The higher the designation, the higher salary is considered. As we know this, they are both directly proportional, and training is continuous process in the organization irrespective of salary, designation, tenure, etc. Here, the dataset is not biased. Then dataset is related to the IT sector. Here, the salaries are considered as per industry standards. Now, my friend Kalai will continue this.
Thank you, Osish. So this is Kalai. Let me talk about crisp day methodology. It is one of the popular methodology in the data mining process. It has 6 stages and each has several sub-steps. So let me start with business understanding. Like this is understanding the business objectives, project plan, and to find out the business problems. So once it is done, we move to data understanding. This is about to understand what data it is and the form of the data and to consolidate and make it as unified platform data. So once it is done, we move to data preparation. So it is like convert the data into a tabular format. It has sub steps, kind of select the data, clean the data, construct and integrate the data. So these 3 stages or time consuming process, as 85% of the project mainly focus on these 3 stages in order to find out the better result. Once these 3 stages are completed, then the models are built and tested, and move to validate the data against business problem and produce with a good quality model. The final part is a deployment one. So it answers the business needs and exactly explain about the project report. Now move to architecture diagram. So here it talks about once when we are creating the data as employee profile for the attribution analysis. So that as the client has a MongoDB database, we are creating MongoDB cluster in cloud and importing the data set from it. So it is a NoSQL JSON like document which handles a big data very easier and faster. Then we move to factor analysis and data pre-processing. Factor analysis is called a summarization and variable reduction technique. It examines the interrelationship among large number of variable and attempt to explain them in terms of common underlying dimensions. Then we move to model building, evaluating, and deployment as explained in the CRISP-D methodology. Thank you, and I over to Pooja.
Thank you, Kalai. Hi all, my name is Pooja. I will be explaining technical stacks and business understanding. The first point is data simulation using Microsoft Excel. The data which we used for this project was created in Microsoft Excel. There was a logic to generate each variable and it was not randomly generated. The second point is MongoDB for data definition and query. The client had requested to use MongoDB server since their data was stored in MongoDB database. So we incorporated a code for extracting data from MongoDB in our project. The third point is Python for data modeling. We used Python for data pre-processing, EDA, and model building. Our entire coding was in Python. Fourth point is Flask and HTML for deployment and user interface. So Flask is a Python web framework. We used it for deploying our model, and we used HTML for user interface. Next, we go to business understanding. So our business problem was to find out whether the employee will attrite or not. The client's requirement was to predict if the employee of the company will attrite or not. So they wanted us to build a model using certain features which will predict if the employee will leave the company or not. So to achieve these, we had two business objectives. First is to minimize the employee attrition rate, and second is to maximize the employee satisfaction. It is important to know which features are affecting the attrition so that the company can work on these features and maximize the employee satisfaction and minimize the attrition. We had one business constraint, that is collection of data. Since the data was not provided by the client, it was our responsibility to create a data which is logical. The variables which we created have some relation between them and it is not randomly generated. So that was our only constraint. Over to Santosh.
Thank you, Pooja. Hello, guys. I'm Santosh Kumar. So this is a screenshot of our dataset as a sample. So here in total, we have 9 variables. So in that attrition is is our output, and the remaining all are our input variables. So in this variables, attrition, designation, and work-life balance are the categorical data, and the remaining all is continuous data. And the employee name and employee ID are not used in model building, but it is used in deployment, which will be explained in detail by my colleague in deployment part. Next slide, please. Now, let's move on to the EDA part of our data set. So as we can see, our first variable is attrition, which is our output variable. So from the data, we can say that there are around 180 of our total employees. Total employee count is around 930. So 180 of our total employees are willing to resign or leave the company. The rest are not willing. Next slide, please. Coming to our input variables, we have training in hours and tenure over here. So around 70% of our employees are trained for either 39 hours or 58.5 hours. And around 85% of our employees are having a tenure of 2 to 11 years with the company, which kind of explains they're quite satisfied with the organization. So next slide, please. Coming to the rest of our input variables, we have here designation, work-life balance, and salary hike. So around 500 of our employees got a hike of either 8% or 10%. Only a very little number of employees got 18 or 20% hike, which of course tells us they have performed really well. And almost 70% of our employees have either good or best work-life balance. The rest are around 250 employees whose work-life balance is bad. And there are 9 different designations in our organization. We have business analysts, data engineer, and data analysts in high count who are more than 50% combined. The rest of the EDA part will be explained by my colleague, Mr. Azhar. Thank you.
Thank you, Santosh. Good evening, everyone. My name is Azharuddin. I am going to explain about the pie chart comparison plots in between the input variables and output variables. This first plot is about the monthly salaries versus attrition. Based on the monthly salary, 27.97% of people going to attrite and 72.03% of people are not going to attrite. And the second plot is regarding salary hike versus attrition. Based on the salary hike, 34.06% of people going to attrite and remaining 65.94% of people not attrite. Next slide, please. Suresh. So this third plot is all about the tenure versus attrition. According to tenure, 31.74% of people going to attrite and 68.26% of people not going to attrite. And fourth plot is all about the training in hours versus attrition. Based on the training in hours, 41.73 of percentage of people going to athlete and 58.27 is not going to athlete. They are not interested moving from the organization. And next slide, Santosh. Sorry, Suresh. So this is about the heat map. The heat map is explained all about the correlation between the input variables as well as input variables and output variables. In this input variables, only training in hours is positively correlated with the output and remaining all is negatively correlated with the output. And tenure and monthly salary is highly correlated with the designation, but it's not affecting on our prediction. We checked VF value for those input variables. This all values is less than 10 only. So we conclude that this correlation is not impacting on our prediction. So now over to Nishi.
Thanks, Azhar. Good evening, everyone. I am Nishi. So we have created here 6 models to predict the employee attrition, which are decision tree, pruning decision tree, SPM, XG boosting, random forest, and adaptive boosting. So we have calculated the train accuracy and test accuracy for each model. So we can see here that the decision tree is having the train accuracy of 100% and the test accuracy of 86.73%. Now to the decision tree, we have applied hyperparameter tuning and pruning techniques. So we got the pruning decision tree model, which has given us the train accuracy of 88.69% and test accuracy of 86.73%. Similarly, SVM, we have got 82.22% as train accuracy and test accuracy as 81.42%. Then we have created XG boosting model, which has given us the train accuracy of 89.8% and test accuracy of 86.17%. After that, we have created random forest model, which has given us the highest train accuracy here as 98.70% and test accuracy is 96.67%. And for this random forest model, there was very much less difference between the train and test accuracy. Similarly, for adaptive boosting, we got train accuracy is 93.70% and test accuracy is 90.39%. So out of these 6 models, random forest model was giving us the very less difference between the train and test accuracy. So we have chosen this random forest model as our final model for deployment. Over to Hemant for discussing next.
Good evening to everybody. Thank you all. I am Hemant. Coming to this slide, this is a future importance plot, and it refers to classify a technique of assigning the scores to input future to predict model. That indicates the relative importance of each future. The scores are useful to better understanding the prediction, better understanding the data. In this plot, top 2 futures are highest score, that is monthly salary and percentage of salary hike. So those features are most important feature for prediction. And next portion is a deployment of model will take care by Gauri.
Thank you, Hemant. This is Gauri Sri. Hello, everyone. I'm going to explain about the model deployment of this project. So after the model building is being evaluated, we found random forest has better accuracy when compared to other models. So we use random forest as our base model for the deployment. So deployment, this is one of the final stages in the machine learning lifecycle. So once the model is being built and evaluated, it needs to be effectively deployed into production environment where the user can give input and see the results. That is, the end user can actually interact with the prediction results. So it's like model deployment is the process of taking a trained machine learning model and making its predictions available to users or other systems. So here we are building a dynamic modular user interactive Flask application. The Flask application that we built here use the default Jinja template engine to render templates that is written in HTML, where the predicted attrition results will be shown when the user gives the input. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this is the process workflow of how the employee profile data is being taken from the database to the browser page. Here we use PyMongo package to connect to, that is in Python, to connect to Mongo client and retrieve the JSON object, which contains the employee profile data. So after the data being processed, model building and model evaluation is being done, the model is being sent to the browser page using a web application framework in Python called Flask. So now the user can actually interact with the data by entering the employee ID, and once upon submitting the request, output prediction results will be shown in the browser page. Next slide, please. Thank you. So these are the 2 screenshots of our web page that we created, home page and prediction results page. So once we enter employee ID as input and upon submitting the request, predicted attrition results will be shown in the results page as yes or no, along with some employee details like employee name. So this is our screenshots and output page, and conclusion will be continued by Sahitya. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. So this is one of the 2 phases of the project in which we are trying to predict the attrition of an employee based on designation, salary hike percent, work-life balance, tenure, and salary. Since this is a binary classification problem, we have used multiple classification algorithms and noted the accuracies. After performing hyperparameter tuning and pruning, we have chosen random forest as the best classifier with an accuracy of 96%. So we can strongly say factors such as salary hike and training are important aspects to the employee. By maximizing the employee satisfaction in these areas would help control the employee attrition. Let's continue with the phase 2 of the project. Thank you.
Friends, in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can please post your questions on YouTube chat. Suresh, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Okay, sure.
Shall we continue with the phase 2, sir?
Yes, please proceed.
I think your screen sharing is paused, like it is showing.
Screen sharing is paused?
Yes,
no,
sir.
I don't think it's. Reshare it. Reshare your screen, please.
Okay, sir, one second. I think, can you able to see my screen? Hello? Hello, everyone.
No, Suresh.
Yeah, can others,
It's
anyone
loading.
else, please share the screen? I think Suresh has some issue with the internet. Can someone else present the screen?
One second. Now, is that okay, sir? I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, Suresh, we can see your screen now. Please proceed.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Myself, Suresh. I'm the project manager. Now we are dealing with the phase 2 of the project, that is employee performance analytics. Since it is a multi-classification problem, here we have to predict employee rating based on the certain attributes. Now let us go into the project in detail. And these are the same team who have supported me for the project. And these are the table of contents. And yeah, my team will continue with the in detail of the project. Over to Kalaivani.
Thank you, Suresh. Let me go through the challenges for the employee performance. So here the challenges are data set is imbalanced and deployment based on the client requirement. So data is simulated depends on the all attributes listed in the data set. Primary challenge or focus will be their organizational behavior. Move to the assumption. So we assume dataset is related to IT industry. Evaluation or validation would be helpful to improve the employee performance. Assume all variables that are independent each other. So move the next slide, please. Yeah, this we have explained in the phase 1 for the CRISP DM methodology. Move to the next one. So this is the architecture diagram. As we explained in the phase 1, the same explanation will be there. But the thing is that After importing the dataset from MongoDB, the selection is called feature selection. So it is a kind of technique in order to find out the most important features for prediction or for model building. So here data processing also include feature transformation. It is a simple function that transforms features from one representation to another. It also helps to improve performance of the model. So again, once it is done, we move to model building and evaluating deployment part as explained in the methodology format. Thank you, and move over to Nishi.
Yeah, thank you, Kalaivani. So in phase 2, we have our business requirement as predicting employee performance. So we have predicted what will be the performance of the employees. So for that, we have two business objectives. Firstly, identifying the attributes that will help to determine the ratings of the employee. And next is the understanding the factors which have an influence on the performance of the employee. So during our proceeding with the phase 2 of the project, we have faced some business constraints like the collection of data. The data set was not available to us, so we have simulated the data. And another constraint we have faced was that the data set was imbalanced. So in this project, we have used the same technical stacks as we used in the phase 1. So actually here the data was created in Excel and then it was stored in MongoDB. And we have used the Python here to extract the data from MongoDB and as well as in model building. After that, we have the flags has been used for deployment and HTML for creation of user interface. Next slide, please. So this is our data set. So in this phase, we have actually total of 23 variables in the data set. And our output variable is the performance rating, which is a multi-class output having values as A, B, C, D, and E, in which value A is the highest rating, like 5 rating, and value E is the lowest rating. And we have not used employee ID and employee name for prediction, but these two variables have been used during performance showing in the GUI. Over to my next colleague for further declaration. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nishi. And I'm going to talk about EDA plots. First of all, EDA analysis is an approach for analyzing the datasets to summarize their main characteristics, often with usual methods. A statistical model can be used or not, but primarily EDA is for seeing data. What can tell us beyond the formal modeling or hypothesis testing task. Now here a count plot is kind of like an histogram or bar graph. It simply shows the number of occurrences of an item based on a certain type of category. Here, as per the plots, there are high number of graduates than PG or doctorate in this organization. Overall, most of the employees' performance is good as per this plot. Overall, 90% of the employees are from business analyst and data engineer role, and rest of them are from different roles as per records and plot. Then can you go for next slide? Yeah, this plot lets you show a histogram with a line on it. Like this plot represents the overall distribution of continuous data variables. And here we have a violin plot. It's a method of plotting numeric data. It is similar to a box plot with the addition of a rotated kernel density plot on each slide. The violin plot shows the full distribution of the data. Now, my friend will continue this.
Thanks, Ashish. This is Pooja. So this is a boxing plot between work-life balance versus salary. The rating is represented by color. The employees having good work-life balance, irrespective of rating, have a wide salary range. There is no particular pattern in them. The employees having A and B rating have lowest median, and the employees having rating E has highest median salary. The employees having bad work-life balance have a certain pattern. The employees having rating B, C, and D have approximately same interquartile range, and the median is also same. The employees having rating A has the smallest interquartile range than all other Boxen plots. The employees having rating E has the least median salary than all other Boxen plots. The employees having best work-life balance have different interquartile ranges for each rating. The employees having C rating has least median salary, whereas the employees having D rating have highest median salary. Over to you, Hemant.
Thank you all. I am Hemant. Coming to this slide, this is a categorical point plot. It is an alternative style for visualizing the information is offered by the point plot function. Rather than showing a full bar, it's the plot, the point estimate the confidence interval. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is a heat map. A heat map is a data visualization technique that shows the relation between the variables. We have a multi-collinearity issue with tenure and total work experience variable around 90%. And then we did transformation technique to normalize the data. After that, we applied VIF technique to detect the multi-collinearity and cross-verified all the values or less than 10. So we haven't removed any feature and procedure for model building. The next portion is a machine learning model stack will take care by Sahitya.
Thank you, Hemant. So coming to the model accuracy, we have created 6 models to predict the performance of an employee. Also, we have noted the train and test accuracies of each model, and they go like decision tree with 100% train accuracy and 66% text accuracy, like that. Now we have now we have chose random forest as the best model with the highest accuracy and lowest difference between the test and train accuracies. Over to Gaurishri. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is the deployment part here, and we use same Flask application to deploy our project here, and HTML as our user interface. And we took random forest as our base model for the deployment here, since it has better accuracy when compared to other models. Next slide, please. So this is the same process workflow of how the data is being transferred from database to browser page. Next slide, please. So these are the 2 screenshots of our output web pages. And the home page, when we enter employee ID as our input, and upon submitting the request, we retrieve predicted rating as our output, along with some employee details like employee name and designation. Okay. So next part is it's like conclusion. Here we conclude that some of the advantages of doing the performance analysis, or it will improve overall performance in the workplace, and we feel it is a perfect opportunity to find areas that need greater attention, and also it increase employee engagement, identify promotion opportunities, and it identify training needs of the employees, and it strengthen relationships and loyalty. So all employees obviously want to know what they are doing well and where they can improve. So these, by doing performance reviews each and every year, can strengthen those relationships and gain valuable insight into how we can actually improve employee retention also. So thank you. We are open to questions here. And we would like to thank all the stakeholders on behalf of our team, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to work in these 2 projects. Thank you, everyone. And now we are open to questions and answers.
Hey, thank you so much, team. It was a wonderful effort. And congratulations, you have successfully completed the project and deployed it. That's wonderful achievement. And yeah, the questions would be there on YouTube channel. I think our team is anyways taking care of those questions online. So yeah, we can wind up, guys. I think wonderful and wonderful job, and congratulations. looking forward to get more opportunities, more such opportunities to interact with you all. And yeah, all the best for your future, guys. Thank you so much. And good night, everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, welcome, guys. Good night. Thank you all.
Good night.
Thank you.